So I started the recording. Okay, here I see. Okay, that's great. Yes, welcome fellow Toastmasters. This is a webinar from District 108. It's Wednesday, 24th of April 2024. And today we have our amazing member of our district, Ture Uolasvirta. She has a Toastmasters experience of over 20 years. She's a member in 2 clubs in Finland, in Northern Stars Toastmasters, which is Advanced Toastmasters Club, and in Stadin Sanassepat. And today she will talk about Pathway to Keynote. Please welcome Ture on the virtual stage.
Thank you, Dagnia. So I'm so pleased to be here today. When I started Toastmasters, I never thought I'm going to give a keynote. I was as any other member going through the project and struggling with finding the topic and what to speak about. And once again, I was quite late in preparing my speech. And where did I go to find information and inspiration? It was in internet. I think quite many of us go there and find information. What should I speak about? During this quest, I ran into a topic at the Toastmasters members discussion group, where it was, how do you evaluate a member who is giving 11th icebreaker speech? I was a little bit curious, and with my Finnish education, first idea was, okay, has he failed 10 times and now he is going once again? But as I know, you can't fail at Toastmasters, and I read further. So he had completed 10 times the manuals or path and was starting the 11th one. And during this 11th path, he had decided to speak only about orchids. And that was intriguing. I thought, is he going to have a workshop or keynote? And then I thought, all right, that's an interesting way to use Toastmasters International Educational Program. You do it by small bites. Now, I've spoken a little bit about myself, but I want to know a little bit about you. So please write in the chat box, where are you with your Toastmasters paths? Or what if you are just going through the first path? Write the level and the number of level you are working with, or if you are already completed 1, 2, 3 paths, so put the number of paths that you have completed. So, all right, so there is 1 path completed, 0 levels cleared and 0 paths. However, you have CTM, I think, told. So level 5, great. 1 path and almost 2nd pathway. All right, so you are in the different levels, but I think all of you will benefit of this. Let's go first to the basics. So that's how we have learned to develop a speech quite often. So we have this main message. Then we have 3 main points. And for these 3 points, we have 3 supporting ideas. And surprise, when you go to listen to the other speeches, there they have also these three main points. In this case, it's 3 stories. I don't know if you have heard or listened to Steve Jobs' commencement address in 2005, where he had these 3 stories. So there was the first story was about connecting the dots. The second one was about love and loss, and third story was about the death. And there it was 12 minutes, 3 stories, around 3 to 4 minutes per story. And if you take those stories into Toastmasters world, let's see, there is the first story might be even a table topic. So for me, one keynote started with table topic question that I want best table topic speaker. It was about how I moved to France. Then there was a continuation of that story. It was during that trip, it was a story about trust. And in a table topic, you have an opening and conclusion. It's around 30 seconds. And the body is about 2 minutes. And with everything put together, you can have 3 table topics with opening and conclusion. You get along with 5 to 7 minute speech. So then you have another 5 to 7 minute speech, the third one, and then you have a manual speeches, which are 3 manual speeches with opening and conclusion taken away and having a good transitions. You are soon having a 15 to 20 minutes long keynote speech. So I found my idea, one of the keynotes was from table topic. It was how I moved to France. I took the bus, and then there were quite a lot of adventures, and I could combine them with club leadership and trust. So short journey, long journey short. So now you can try this one. Try to find ideas for your keynote. If you start with this short one, 12 to 15 minutes. So where you can start with, find what you really love. It's a least personal or professional accomplishment. What you have done, what are you proud of? How did you get there? Or some activities that you enjoy doing. So like orchids in that example in the beginning. Or if you're studying something or want to study but have not yet studied, or want to learn a new language, a new skill. So take a few minutes and write down some ideas. What could be the topics that interest you and where you have these stories? There is no timer. Can you, Dagnia, take around 5 minutes?
Yes, 5 minutes start now. 3 minutes are over now.
Right. What have you written down? Did you find something, some ideas, what to speak about? So just say aloud with Dagnia.
Sorry. Yes. One story could be about how I moved from Germany to Estonia, for example.
Great. Amar?
Completing education, living abroad for a year after university, and completing pretty much everything that I've ever set my mind to. So far, everything is in terms of gainful employment and in the same industry for 20 years.
All right. Peter?
I could create a collection of anecdotes from my workplace or working life. It's that could be interesting.
Great. Thank you. And Craig?
Taking a risk of moving from the United States to Germany.
Oh, great. That there is a lot of stories in that, I think so. Thomas?
Yeah, thinking about Toastmasters and what changed in my life because of Toastmasters. So that's a great story.
Great. Thank you. And then we have this leadership autopilot. Maybe that's no one there. Okay, so there were already some ideas that you can collect and start working with your keynote, but it's not doing your keynote as whole at one slump. I once listened a very interesting keynote. It was Ted Cochran, who is past international president. He was in Tallinn, gave a 45-minute keynote. And on the topic, dreams are your dreams are your possibilities. And there were 3 main topics, as normally. It's never too late. He spoke about a person who took district director role when he was 98 years old. And got first time ever the district into president's distinguished status. And he was even planning to run for international director. And also about a club that last minute or just few weeks before the end of the year had an open house and could reach more than 20 members in order to be distinguished. So it's never too late to kind of realize your dream. The next one was the Billing the Prize, and there was about Jock Elliott, who competed during 19 years before he won world champion in public speaking. So he really worked hard. And the third one was Pay the Price. And that was a story about Craig Valentine, who came second 2 times at World Championship in public speaking, and was about hesitant if he could go 3rd time, but then he won. So these were in short the stories, but he could embed them and tell them in a way that he kept us captivated during 45 minutes. And when he had these main stories, all of them he could bind with some learning, some relevant experience with Toastmasters, and something that each of us can do when we are going to find our dreams. And this speech, a shorter version, is also is online. It's quite short because it's 45 minutes, but it's simultaneously translated, so English, Chinese, English, Chinese. So it is important to find these stories, and sometimes these stories, when you really fail or when the things don't go as planned. So these are the learning moments, and these are the moments that people want to hear. They want to feel the same, that, okay, I'm not the only one who failed in this, but he also, and he came across. So in this 45-minute keynote, you have these 3 manual speeches. Each of them have opening and conclusion that you can kind of go away, but the body, 4 to 5 minutes. It's 12 to 15-minute main point. And collecting more of this, you have 9 manual speeches with these 3 main points, 3 stories for each main point, and then you have this 45-minute speech. Keynote 2. How do you combine it? Most of you have done enough speeches to have already material for your keynote. And if you think this Toastmasters International Pathways program, these are all the paths that are common to all the projects, and these projects are those that you can use storytelling and storytelling skills in a way or another. So if someone says that I chose a path, I can't do it, it's not true, because there are so many paths. On each path, there are 12 different projects that can be used to combine or can be used as an element of your keynote speech. So, and the last one here, reflecting on your path. It is common to everyone. And there is also a way to have 10 to 12 minute speech, because your path, it can't be whatever. It can be your pathway learning path, or it can be your path to keynote. And so there were already 12, and I think 14 speeches are required for completing a path. And level 1, all the speeches are the same. And what you learn also with in your path, it's this, for example, engaging human level, there is an obligational project, connect with your audience. It is elective project with all the other level 3 paths. So there you can find the tools which can help on all the pathway or also keynote to know your audience characteristic so that you can tailor your message and identify the ways in which the audience differ and build rapport with different kind of audiences and project knowledge and expertise when speaking. So this is one way to have extra skills and kind of review those old projects so that when you are doing your keynote and collecting your stories, you can use them for your keynote. The other one is this managing a difficult audience. It is a good project, especially if you are going to speak in about a controversial topic or in a very diverse audience, that there is no harmony or no, let's say no harmony within the audience. They have so different backgrounds or point views or everything. So this is a good way to learn how to diffuse the contradiction and opposition. Now, if you think about your project so far and your speeches so far that you have given at Toastmasters, is there something that could start building your keynote? Are there stories that you could use in order to build your keynote or make your point? There is sometimes the level 1, this purpose, speak with purpose speech. That's where you can find a good topic for a keynote, because quite often it's a topic that is close to your heart. Any other? Do you have any of those? Some story you have told that could be elaborated to a keynote speech to have make a point? A big failure? So let's take another look to oil. No, now I picked too many. Sorry. So another look to the pathways. Here it is. Have you heard about hero's journey? So start kind of building. You can start building or crafting the story with your pathways. This is better to do when you are starting your second path, but there are the ways to draft your speech with this hero's journey. So the icebreaker is the ordinary world. It is how you introduce yourself to others, who you are, and what are your interests, and where you live, and the challenges you face. The call to adventure, is it like writing a speech with purpose? That's where you maybe have an interest, you have been asked to do something, you are hesitating, but you are trying to find the arguments why to do or why not to do it. The third is refusal. There you can have the introduction to vocal variety and body language. And then the last, the second part is this supreme ordeal or initiation. And that's where I have heard the most, how could I say, critique about this project, level 2 project, Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. And that's where you could really use kind of hero's journey to find something that maybe your big failure and you have had something who helped you, or your big success and someone who helped you to get there. So that is one project that you can use, this Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring project. Do you have any of those mentors in your mind? Someone who helped you to go over some difficult paths, or someone who guided you to another way, or helped you to be really, really successful? No, Peter, no. Greg?
No, I did not.
Dania?
Not really in Toastmasters, but in life. So
Yeah, life.
Toastmasters, yeah.
It can be life. Yes. Amar? No. I can have one example. It is in Toastmasters world. So mentor or this wise person can be whoever. And it was at district conference when I have moved to Finland, and we wanted to be a part of district. And we had only 2 clubs in Finland. And during discussion, there was one person who said to me, okay, if you want to be an area in a district, start behaving like an area. Start having speech contest, club officers trainings, and keep kind of contact between the clubs. And that's what we started. So it was just one phrase or one piece of advice stated during a gala at district conference, and it made a difference. So that it might be also that kind of thing. So going further with this hero's journey, you have level 3 project, Connect with your audience. That's also a way to use during this project, because it is, in a way, you connect with your audience, but also you inspire and motivate them. Managing difficult audience can serve for this test lies enemies part. And your longer speeches might describe the way back. You have this prepared to speak professionally, which Amar is doing now, trying to prepare. So it is to describe the transformation, what you have learned, what this learning helped you, and what was the reward? How you build yourself on what you have learned. And the path completion might be the road back, atonement, and return. To give back what you have learned. to give to your society, to your community, the lessons learned and how you can help them also to face these difficulties and go through this, go through their problem. So, any challenges that you could think about? A big failure that could serve as an example. A painful thing that doesn't give so much pain today. So it's not kind of mental psychiatry or mental health, but just something you have got over, but it was painful when it happened. For example, losing your job, getting divorced, getting separated. So those are failing one, not getting in to the study, not getting in something. So these, all of them, they bring something to you, to your life, and they have built you, the person who you are. And that's something you could also give as an example, as a lesson. Do you have any in your mind? Dagnia, are you you're muted?
Yes, definitely. I have something in my mind about when I give a notice to my employee that I'm leaving. So there was like, a little conflict. So we separated not that kindly. So yeah, that was a bit like on a personal level, that was a little bit like setback.
Yes. What about Peter?
Well, not really what I can come up with now. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. Craig?
Nothing I can come up with either.
Yeah. Amar? Yes, it is the changing work. Sometimes it might be also quite difficult situation. It might feel like not like divorce, but losing something important. You lose your friends, you lose your maybe identity. Even then moving to another country, it is like recreating yourself again. It feels like a good opportunity, but there is a pain behind it. It is the pain to leave your family, leave your friends, leave everything that is common and familiar, and try to survive in a new environment. Even going to supermarket is kind of a challenge because there are products you don't know, they are not familiar to you. So where do you find your new favorite coffee? So for example, it might be quite difficult. So, all right. So this was my take on how you can use Toastmasters Pathway program to combine your keynote. So this was more technical and a little bit practical, so that you have the elements. What you need is your creativity, your life, and your stories. You can start combining those stories and giving the speeches either as a table topic speech, if it's a short one, or one of the manual speeches. Keep track what you have done. Write down your speeches, the main points, because those can serve in different contexts as a point or as a story which leads to a point. So this was my story, my webinar on your pathway to Keynote, and now I have time for questions and answers.
So I have a question. If you do different speeches on different topics, how do you find a common message that you can use for a keynote address?
There is so I have one story. It's about my grandmother, who when they have to leave Karelia and escape the war and settle down to Finland. So there are a few different approaches. The elements within the story I can change, and I can kind of accentuate the parts that put the point. One point was about when there was this Ukrainian crisis. The one point was then to understand that it's difficult to leave your country and try to survive and kind of be accepted. Then another part was that she was also a strong woman. It was the same story, but then I added her attitude there in the story, that when there was a difficulty, she said, and who says that you can do that? It's always right time to do right thing. So it was about the morale to do every time the right thing. So that is, you have the story, there are the elements, and you can use it a little differently. The other one was about plane. I have used it. When you fly, you fasten your seatbelts and so on. And there is a chain of trust in that. You trust that the pilot gets you back safe. Pilot trusts the ground crew that they have put enough fuel and there is all the equipment needed. They rely on flight control. So this is the basic idea. But when there was a strike, so then there was a kind of a rupture in that chain of trust. So I changed the story a little bit to adapt. So these are ways to kind of adapt your story, and you can envelope it with opening and body to go with another story or to go with your main topic. And the thing is, try to find the lesson you learned or the moral in that story. I hope that helped you answers to your question.
So I guess my follow-up question would be, would you start with a message first, and then every time you do a speech with the intention of expanding toward your eventual level 5 speech? Is that how you would think about doing this?
It is, if you have a message, then you could try to embed all your speeches into that message. Sometimes it is like Steve Jobs' speech, you connect the dots and only later you see the common points and, oh, this is my story. This will give the message. That's where I find the message.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions?
So basically, when let's say I have a final project, which is a keynote speech, 18 to 22 minutes, for example. Yes. So I could combine some speeches which I have already like done in the past, but modify a little bit and connect them, and then it also would count, so to say.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. That's kind of misconception that you need every time to have a new speech. You can repeat the same speech every time if you want. And those who give a lot of speeches, they could have post-its, and there are the bits and pieces of speeches and stories. And when going to one specific event, they might pick, okay, this story goes with in this context. And so they might have maybe, I don't know, 10, 20, 50 different small stories, anecdotes, which can be elaborated into longer one or just condensed to include the message. Did that help you?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Amar?
How would you, I have two questions. One is, how would you inject humor into a keynote? Is it kind of like sprinkled throughout? Is it like part of the story and you just basically expand on different styles of humor? And the other question is, can what you suggest be expanded to say an hour or even an hour and a half worth of like a keynote address? And like, how would that change the structure or the way you would approach it?
Let's start with the humor. Yes, I think I would inject some humoristic part throughout the speech, because otherwise there is a peak and then it goes down. So to have these peaks throughout the speech, it helps to have audience interested and the energy level of the speech and speaker to kind of interesting throughout the speech. What it comes to 1 hour, 1 hour and a half speech, yes, you can use the same technique to expand it, but when you have a longer speech, you need to repeat more often, for example, the main message and main points, what you have told, so that they keep with you all the time. So have some repetition, have some sum up every now and then, and remember to repeat the message. I hope that helped. Answered to your question. So we are on just on time for the 7 minutes. So I thank you, and I hand back to Dagnia.
Thank you, Tuire. Yes, thank you. That was really interesting. Also, all the structure you showed of the path and how we combine everything, and that was really, really valuable and useful. And yes, thank you once again. Thank you all the participants for showing up. I will just say thank you so much again, and maybe see in another webinar at some point, and maybe see you at our District 108 conference in 4 weeks. So that would be awesome. Thank you, Ture, for your time, and let's close the meeting. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Will the recording be shared?
Yes, it will be shared. Yes.
Thank
yes.
you so much, because there are
Thank you.
plenty of people who wanted to
Awesome.
benefit. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.